Hi, this is Elliot Eisenberg of Graphs and Laughs here to catch you up to date on the latest in residential sales data for the month of November. In November, in Hillsborough County, single-fam home prices were unchanged. That was the best performance across all three counties and both types of properties. Multifam properties slipped 3%. That was the best multifam performance across all three counties. Sales activity slipped for both single and multifamily, down 7.6% for single family and 13.2% for multi. In a weakening market, we also see sales price as a percentage of list price continuing to decline. It's 96.4% for single fam, down from 97.9%, a pretty large decline. Similarly, for multifam, it's down to 95% from 97%. Pending sales activity, however, increased for both types of properties, up 11.4% and 7.5% respectively for single and multi. I hope this trend continues, but I suspect it's a result of lower interest rates that we experienced a couple of months ago that have since risen. Lastly, inventory in terms of months is up 26.9% on the single fam side to 3.3, still not a lot of inventory, and up 53.3% for multifam at now 4.6 months, sort of the lower edge of a normal housing market. So the multifam market continues to weaken more quickly than the single fam market. In Pasco County, single-fam home prices slipped a slight 1.1%. Multifam prices slid more, 11.3%. Sales activity for both types of properties declined, down 13.1% for single-fam, less 8.3% for multi. That was the best performance across all three counties for multi-family units. Again, here also we see a weakening market, and as a result, sales price as a percentage of original listing price year over year continues to fall. It's 96.2% now, down from 97.9% a year ago for single fam, and 97.4%, that's the highest percentage across all three counties and both types of properties, down from 97.7%. It continues to slide slightly. Pending sales in Pasco up also 18.6% for single and a large 23.4% for multi. Again, I hope this continues, but I'm fearful that it's because of low rates that we experienced 30, 45, 60 days ago. Lastly, active inventories up 34.6% to 3.5 months. Multifam inventory in terms of months is up 28.6% to 3.6. Those still remain quite low. In Pinellas County, single-fam home prices fell 2.7%. Multifam prices fell a more substantial 9.8%. Sales activity increased for single-family in Pinellas by 2.4%. That was the only county and only type of property to register an increase in sales activity. Multifam sales activity declined 14.1%. Here also, in a weakening market, sales price as a percentage of list price continues to soften. It fell to 95.1% from a year ago's 96.4%. Similarly, for multifam, it's 92.4%, the weakest across all three counties and all types of properties from a year ago's 95.1%. Pending sales increased a strong 42.3% for single fam and slipped 6.9% for multi. Hopefully the increase in single fam that we see continues, but again, I'm fearful that it's primarily being driven by low interest rates, perhaps some new construction. Lastly, active inventory in terms of months of supply is up 31% for single fam to 3.8 months and up 47.6% to 6.2 months. That's quite a large number for multifam. Clearly, there's a lot of inventory in the multifam side in Pinellas County. Turning our attention to the national economy, GDP in Q3 was recently revised up to 3.1%, and Q4 GDP is probably going to come in somewhere around 2.5%. While not as strong as Q3, that's still a really good number. As a result of this overperformance or outperformance by the economy, inflation is not coming down that much right now. It seems to have sort of stalled, if you will, and this is giving the Fed a little bit of concern. It had been coming down no matter how you measure it, CPI, PCE, core, headline, whatever. It was coming down nicely. The last couple of months it stopped. I think it will continue to decline, but that said, we're waiting for the numbers to corroborate that. Moreover, unemployment has actually gotten a little better. The worst it was 4.3% a few months ago. It's now 4.2%. Now, add to this the uncertainty of what's going to transpire when President-elect Trump takes office on January 20th at noon. Some of his policies have an inflationary bias to them. In his immigration reform policies, his tax cut policies, and so on. So the Fed is a little bit nervous. We see inflation kind of stalling, potentially getting worse if President-elect Trump does some of the things he says he's going to do. So what the Fed is now telling us is they're going to slow interest rate cuts. They've cut rates by a full percentage point. They're going to cut more in 25, but they think they're going to cut less and a little bit later. I'm not sure they'll cut less at the end, but I am quite sure they're going to cut a little slower than they thought. They want to see what President Trump does on the first day, the executive orders he signs, and the policies he slides to push. Now, because of the concern about what may happen down the road, interestingly, while short-term rates have fallen by a full percentage point, the Fed's cut them by a full percentage point, long-term rates, the 10-year Treasury and the 30-year mortgage, have gone up quite a bit. If you think this is unusual, it is. The last 6 times the Fed's cut rates, going back 7 times, going back to 1989, this is the first time we've ever seen a meaningful rise in long-term rates when short-term rates are coming down. Now, the Fed, as I said, is going to continue to cut rates. They'll cut rates at least twice next year. The question is, will they cut more? And that remains to be seen. We just don't know. It depends on the policies. In terms of recessionary expectations, I don't have any right now in the short run. The economy is doing quite well. Unemployment is low. Things are pretty good. The Fed's been cutting rates. This economy is strong. It has legs. The fear of recession continues to dwindle and decline as we go forward.